Welcome everyone back to week 3 now, I guess, of the Fantasy Variation Podcast. I am always one of your hosts, Tommy Fuller, and joined with me as always is Colin Street. Colin, my friend, how are you doing on this fine Wednesday night?
I'm great, man. We're 1-0 in fantasy. Great feeling.
Yep, and I think that's a great segue right into reviewing your matchup of the week. But we'll take a second to pause and just talk about what we're going through today. So unlike last time, we're actually going to go through and recap me and Colin's games from the Shovel Mitch League. We'll start with his. And then we'll go into mine. Both of us starting off 1-0, so a little spoiler there. We're both off on the right track there. And then we'll basically dive into what we did all of last week. So we'll do our love hates for the week, our start sits, a little bit of trivia, and then we'll wrap it up with our best bets of the week as always. So Colin, with that being said, why don't I go ahead and pass it to you to talk about Reese's Puffs this week?
Hey, yes, sir, baby. All right, we're 1-0. Did the week go as I planned? Not completely. It's all right, though. We scored 105 points. Obviously not going to get the job done most weeks. But our QB went down. I don't know if he's playing this week or not. It doesn't matter, though. Jaden Daniels, baby. Look what he did last week. He proved that he can be a startable fantasy quarterback. I know it's week 1. Not gonna hype him up too much. He got a lot of points from rushing touchdowns and rushing yards, but that's why I drafted him. That's what I see out of him. He threw for 184 yards. Yeah, that's meh. He's a rookie quarterback. What a great opening start. Love that. He's going to be my quarterback moving forward, unless obviously Justin Fields comes out of nowhere. Come on, OSU, baby. Come on. I don't know. Enough said about him. But yeah, we're pretty happy there. Jordan Love goes down. Jaden Daniels is the guy moving forward. Breece Hall, he's going to be a beast. He fumbled once. He still scored 18 points, 54 rushing yards, got a lot of receptions. We're chilling there. Jalen Waddle, 16.2, exactly what we want. No touchdowns, still at 109 yards, 5 catches. Love it. George Kittle was kind of disappointing, but it's all right. Then we kind of get into, let's see. Let's start with Marv. A lot of managers will be freaking out. Everybody, it's week 1. People love to freak out. They hate guys. I think someone texted me earlier, like, would you trade Marv for this guy? And I'm like, no. I think he's going to come back. He's visibly frustrated. He's expressed his frustration, blah, blah, blah. I don't really care about that. He's too good of a wide receiver not to get him the ball. Yeah, it sucks that he only had 1 point. He probably will have a few weeks coming forward that will be less than 10 points, I'd imagine, but I'm not worried about it. If we want to talk about guys I'm worried about, Drake London. Kirk Cousins, I know it's the Steelers. Steelers are a great defense, honestly, probably top 3, if not the best defense, in my opinion. I don't think Kirk Cousins is healthy. I was watching a lot of clips. His right leg, I think it's his right leg, that he tore the ACL on. I was watching videos of this guy breaking down the film. He wasn't planting it correctly, and he wasn't getting his weight under it, and easy throws were just so far off. That's a huge concern. I don't know. Drake London, I didn't love the pick when I took him, and he's yet to prove that he's a good fantasy wide receiver. So I don't know. That's a guy I'm worried about. Tank Dell, 9 points. I'm not too worried. He's a beast. CJ Stroud and him got the connection. Diggs got a little too much love in the red zone for me. But none of his passes, CJ Stroud was not targeting him deep. That's Diggs. Tank Dell, he was still targeting him deep, so I'm happy with that. David Montgomery, a beast like always. Jerome Ford had a great week. I'm happy with where we're at there. Jameson Williams, the guy I wasn't really sure about.
Yeah.
Had another great week. Yeah. So overall, we scored 105 points. Not what we want. Beat Salty Mango. That's all we need. We're 1-0. Some things went bad, but I'm okay with it. I'm happy moving forward. We'll move to you.
I just wanted to bring up right quick. I think you glossed over the score of that game that you played. And what was it?
What was it? Let me see. 105 to 74.
Wow, what a battle in the trenches we had this week for your team. I feel like it's bad news for the rest of the league because if you have Breece Hall, Dave Montgomery, and Jerome Ford, I feel like two of those guys are going to be startable every week. Even if Chubb comes back and doesn't totally reclaim like a total workhorse role, I think all three of those guys could be fantasy relevant. And then your receivers still, I really like mine, but I think you definitely have a really good receiving core as well. So could be bad news for the league that you snuck one out there, but
Hey, yeah, yes, sir, baby. Come on, 1-0.
a win is always a win. And I guess speaking of wins, we also had one for my team as well. I think the best place to start is just Cooper frickin' Kupp, man. I guess you were the one that called it out last week on your love-hate list that he was going to have a big week this week. Finished with 32 total points, the second-ranked wide receiver on the week behind only Jaden Reed, who had a few bombs himself, so not a bad game hit for him either. My fun fact about Cooper Kupp that I was talking to you about before, so if you removed all of Cooper Kupp's incompletions from the game on Sunday, where do you think he would rank in targets?
1.
Yes, he's still number one.
Did he have like 15 catches?
He had 14 catches. The next highest targets after his 21 was 12.
Wow.
Just completely ridiculous. So I remember Zach was hitting my phone a little bit trying to trade for Cooper Kupp. I don't know if that's going to be happening anymore.
No.
At least not for the same price.
Yost, if you ever listen to this, you're never getting him from him. You would have to give up your best player, your second best player. Cooper Kupp, I'm calling it right now. Tommy, great pick. He will finish as a top 3 wide receiver, if not number 1 wide receiver this year. I know it's early, but yeah, I'm all in on him. Great pick. Sorry to interrupt.
Hey, you're just preaching the choir over here. I love me some Cooper Kupp, obviously. Zach, I mean, I still would trade him for Tyreek Hill, so you can still hit my line. Maybe we'd have to think about it a little bit, sleep on it, but hard to argue against the cheetah. I guess as for the rest of my team, I think it was kind of a pretty average week for everyone. Most of my players finished somewhere between like 13 and 20 points, so just a pretty solid, decent week out of everyone. And then Cooper Kupp on top of it just took us over the edge. I guess Nichols' team also didn't perform super highly. He texted me before this to take it a little easy on him on the podcast. I'm just going to take a quick victory lap on Patrick Mahomes and DeAndre Swift after 1 week and hope that they don't come back to bite my podcast predictions in the future. But if they do, it at least will not be against my team. So that is good.
Nichols, your team sucks. No, I'm just kidding, buddy. Nah, Nichols' team will be fine.
I'm not going that far yet. He's got A-Chain, who could be a league winner if he stays healthy. CeeDee Lamb, obviously, probably still getting back up to speed. But man, Mark Andrews, I was going to bring up too, was a pick that I was salivating over, and man, looks like it might be rough. I have him in a couple of leagues, and you can't really do anything about moving off him or anything. You kind of just have to hope it gets better, but we'll see.
Yeah, Mark Andrews is actually interesting. I was watching this guy, like I don't know, this guy on Twitter that I found. He was basically saying Andrews did not have nearly as bad of a game as it looked. Like I know people were calling out that he was like lining up at left tackle and stuff. And now I can't really remember like what it was, but like he still ran a ton of routes. He was getting separation, and he was basically saying like don't panic on Andrews yet. So I think Andrews is okay. But yeah, back to Nichols' team. He's got CeeDee Lamb. He's gonna be fine. I'm not hating on you, Nichols. Love it. Oh man.
Hey, I love the banter. And yeah, I think actually to go off what you're saying, I think I saw something that said Andrews ran more routes than Isaiah Likely, which was kind of surprising. Yeah. I think he had like 10 catches, 12 targets, something like that. So pretty crazy that he still ran more routes than him and only caught the ball maybe once, maybe twice. I can't remember exactly what it was, but
yeah, 2 catches, 14 yards. Yep.
Yeah, man, that is rough.
But no, back to your team, I guess. I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, your team's a little scary. Rashee Rice did really well too. I don't know. Sorry, I'll let you keep going. I don't know if you're done talking about your team.
That's all I had to really say. Rashee Rice is the man, though. Put some respect on that man, football wise, not in real life. You don't have to do that, but on the football field, that man is a dog and get you some points.
Yeah, that's fair. And then even Justin Jefferson, I was hating on him. Fucking Sam Darnold, man, he looked good. Or wait, no, yeah, Sam Darnold. Yeah, I was confusing him and Bo Nix. Sam Darnold, yeah, he got him the ball. He looked good. I don't know. I still don't like Jefferson that much, but yeah, your team's dangerous. Congrats on the first win of the season.
Thank you. You as well. All right.
Thank
Well,
you. Thank you.
anything else to add on either of our wins this week?
No, no. I guess the league better watch out. I don't plan on losing this year. So
Well, you gotta play me one week, so we'll see.
hey, that's fair. That's fair.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and switch it up into love hate then. Real quick, we can just talk about, well, maybe I don't want to talk about it, but we can talk about our picks from last week. I loved Mostert as well as Christian Kirk, and they both finished with about 4 points. So sorry if you started Raheem Mostert or Christian Kirk. I'm not worried about Kirk really. I think last year he also had a terrible week 1 and then kind of turned it around after that. So it was a weird game against the Dolphins. I thought it was going to be really high scoring, and then it wasn't. So I'm not super concerned about him. And then Mostert also got hurt. So yeah, not great for his game last week. Not probably great going forward. He's on my team, so that's a little unfortunate. And then to round out my picks from last week, I said Parkinson and Taysom Hill would be some solid tight end streamers if you needed one. Parkinson, he only scored 8.7 PPR points, but that was good for the tight end 7, believe it or not, with how bad the tight end landscape is looking right now. Taysom Hill, though, I wouldn't say was a hit. He finished with 4.6, tight end 23. So he didn't come through that week, but there are going to be some weeks where Taysom Hill blows up. It's just a matter of if you can find him, if you want to be a guy that's going to stream him.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I guess I'll go through mine last week. I think there's one more I'm missing. I kind of forget. So if you remember it, let me know. I guess starting with Cooper Kupp, loved him. He was ranked in like the double digits. I don't know where it was, like maybe 12. Obviously he went nuts. That was awesome. Kyron Williams, I said I hated. He didn't have a horrible game, but I mean he finished as the 21st running back. I forget what he was ranked as. He's probably in like 15 range, maybe.
I want to say he was top 10, maybe like at the end of the top 10, but I think he was top 10.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, I guess we're taking that as a win. And then we'll get a heavy loss on the hate Lamar at top 3. Lesson learned, will not fade Lamar anymore. So
hey man,
he's a beast.
I got some good news for you though. Lamar was ranked as a QB3 in the ranks last week, and he finished as QB5. So there you go.
Wow. Okay.
Nailed that hate.
Yeah, I can't take that as a win though. he balled out. So
yeah,
that's funny though.
Unfortunately, there were some high quarterback scores this week that pushed him down, like Baker, Jane Daniels, as you talked about. Obviously pushed him down. I'm forgetting a couple, I guess. Josh Allen, I guess, had it there with his day.
The man, Richardson, come on. I don't know if he finished top 5, but
I don't know exactly what it is. I know those 3 are definitely in there that I named of him.
No, I'm with you.
All right. Well, we're going to try to turn it around this week with our loves and hates. I've got a hate mixed in here, so maybe change it up a little bit, see if we can get something going.
There we go.
You want to kick it off for me?
Let's hear yours first. Yeah.
All right. I guess I'll just go ahead and start with this hate then. We talked about him a little bit, I think, when we were trying to get the start sit set up, and we didn't end up picking him, so I decided to throw him in here. But I do not like DK Metcalf this week against New England. He is the number 23 wide receiver on ESPN's rankings. So depending on the size of your league, like a low end wide receiver 2, high end wide receiver 3. And I just really don't like this matchup. Not only is it not really a great game script matchup for the Seahawks. I mean, I know the Patriots just beat the Bengals. They always start off slow though, so I wouldn't really read too much into that, thinking the Patriots are going to really dominate any sort of football game. I think the Seahawks will find themselves ahead, and if DK is not one of the people scoring, then I don't really see him having a big day. And then also, I almost said rookie, but I guess now he's a sophomore. He missed a lot of his rookie year. Cornerback Christian Gonzalez. He did a really good job on Jamar Chase last week. He held him to 6 catches for 62 yards, and the Bengals were playing from behind the whole game. So I feel like the game script was very much in Chase's favor, and he still didn't deliver against this New England defense. So that's why I'm out on DK Metcalf this week.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you on the game script. I'm kind of surprised he's 23. Just in the fact like I feel, I don't know, if I were to name the top 23 wide receivers, he's definitely up there. And that's interesting. You hate him there. I totally understand it, but it's like in my opinion, it's like, okay, if he catches 4 balls for 60, 70 yards, he might be flirting with it. But I don't know. Yeah, I like the pick overall. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's the only reason I didn't like it fully is that he already is fairly low on the
Right,
list.
right.
Probably hard to go a lot lower than that, but I could definitely see it happening. I mean, it's
Absolutely.
probably hard to go through and bench DK Metcalf unless you're in like a super small league that you can go in and do
Six
it. There's
man
probably not a
super
lot of
league.
leagues where you can go through and bench DK Metcalf. But I think there are a lot of better options, and if you have to play him, just temper expectations.
Definitely. Great pick. All right, so wait, do you want me to share my first one? Is that how we're
Yeah.
doing? Okay. I will start with, I think I've got I've got 3 loves this week. I know I had a couple of hates last week, but we're spreading the love. We'll start with love Ramondre Stevenson at 17, same game that you were talking about. I can totally see the Seahawks beating the Patriots well, or running it up on them. I don't really care. I think Brisket will dump it to him. And this is Stevenson's backfield. Seattle gave up the most rushing yards last year to opposing teams. And I just think this will be a slower game, kind of like you said, the over-under is at 38. I can see it kind of being similar to that Patriots Bengals game last week, where Stevenson got like 25 carries or something and showed that he's got enough left in the juice, or enough juice left in the tank. So I'm gonna go love at Stevenson. I can see him finishing as top 10 running back this week.
Yeah, I think that's a solid pick. I don't think I really thought about that one too much. I think going into this year, I was kind of just out on Ramondre Stevenson just being a running back on a bad
So was
offense.
Yeah, so
And
was that.
the year before, even too, I think you were the one that took him in like the 3rd round. I mean, he won the championship or whatever, so I'm not like shitting on you. But I was out on Stevenson the year before, just being like a running back on a bad offense. Like I don't want that. But it seemed like I really thought maybe like another running back would mix in with the Patriots backfield, but it seems like it really just is mostly belonging to him.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, as long as they don't get blown out of the water, I could definitely see him having a solid day, just trying to keep them on pace with the Seahawks.
Sure. Yeah, and it's a big if. They easily could get blown out of the water. So we'll see there.
Yeah, well, that's a solid pick because I didn't really think about that one, and now that you talk about it, I think I do like Stevenson this week. Where'd you say he was at though? 17?
Yeah, he's at 17.
Maybe that is just appropriate. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't necessarily disagree with that ranking, but I can just see it. Can see him being a top 10 running back again this week. So
Yep.
We'll see.
Perfect. All right. Well, my next 2 are loves as well. I'll keep it in the wide receiver realm, I guess. And I love DJ Moore this week against Houston. He's ranked at 25. I think this might have been the main reason why I was like, I hate Metcalf now, because I saw DJ Moore was below him. Obviously, the big question here is the Bears' offense. It looked like dog shit, I guess, for lack of a better word, on Sunday. They were able to still pull out the win because Will Levis is terrible. But against Houston, they're not going to be able to get by playing that sort of football. Houston does not make a lot of mistakes on offense. CJ Stroud is one of the least turnover-prone QBs in the league. And you already know they're going to put up points, even if it's against a pretty solid Chicago defense. So I think DJ Moore should have a pretty big bounce-back week this week. It really is. I am a little bit afraid of it maybe not being as high scoring as I hope, because the Bears do have a pretty good defense, and so do the Texans. But I'm really just banking on the Texans kind of pulling ahead and the game script moving in DJ Moore's favor.
Absolutely. Did you say he was at 25?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you on there. I think it could lean more higher scoring. Like you said, Chicago, they both have decent defenses. But I totally agree. Texans are probably going to be winning this game. Caleb's going to have to throw the ball. He didn't look good, but DJ Moore is by far the best wide receiver. I shouldn't say best by far. I love DJ Moore. Very high on him this year. I think he's better than Keenan. Keenan's old. Adunze is, I don't know. I just haven't bought into him as much yet. And yeah, I'm kind of surprised that DJ's all the way down there at 25. I love the pick. Well, I guess moving into my next pick, we got let's see here. Love Chris Godwin at 15. Yeah, he's a little higher up there. I mean, coming into the year, he was very far down on draft boards. Obviously, we saw what he did last week and put up big numbers. Obviously, Baker's not going to do that every game, but I don't know. I love it. Baker's going to be slinging it against your boys. I think Detroit's going to win this game. Don't get me wrong, but it's got a very high over under. It's over unders at 51. The odds makers think this game is going to be high scoring. All I see is Baker slinging it, and ideally it is to Chris Godwin, and I can easily see him being a top 5, top 10 wide receiver this week.
Yep, I love Chris Godwin this week too. I feel like 15 is already pretty high, I guess, for my liking. So I don't know if I would have gone in on a love for him this week, but I feel like every time we talk about a Lions game on here, I'll just say it's going to be high scoring. You want as many pieces in this game as possible. So same thing. Godwin is playing the Lions, so you should probably play him.
Yep. Ideally, Bucks are trailing by a touchdown, 2 touchdowns every drive, and they're just going to keep slinging it. So
and they look like they fit their stride. When the Lions played the Buccaneers in the regular season last year, I want to say it was 20-6. In the playoffs, it was pretty high scoring, and now you saw what the Buccaneers just did last week, albeit against a really bad defense. That offense might be clicking. It might be a really high scoring one.
Absolutely. Ideally, yeah. And I mean, ideally for fantasy, I want Monty running the ball, lines up all day. Monty getting the ball, J-Mo getting the ball. And then, Chris Godwin. Let's see it. Top 5 finish this week. Calling it right now. Come on.
All right. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. All right. And my last pick of the week, also a love. I think in the future, I'm going to try to start getting more hates on here. I feel like they're not as easy to come up with, but I need to start getting a little more creative and get a little more bold. I love Najee Harris this week against Denver.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Hey, take it easy, man. Najee Harris is ranked at 25 this week. And against Denver, they're pretty bad running defense. Kenneth Walker last week against them had 20 carries for 103 yards. And I know the Steelers offense, you could say maybe they didn't look too great last week. I'm expecting them to move the ball maybe a little better. I mean, maybe just have the week 1 jitters. Justin Fields hasn't been practicing with the starters, I'm sure, so they could have been a little out of sync there. And then you also just get a better defensive matchup against the Broncos. So I really like Najee Harris. Hopefully he hits pay dirt. He probably is going to have to for this to look like a good bet, but I could really see it happening. The only worry is Arthur Smith giving the ball to Cordell Patterson 1 trillion times again. So hopefully that doesn't happen. And hopefully Najee hits pay dirt a couple times for you against the Broncos.
Absolutely. No, I'm kidding on the play. I hate Najee Harris. I'm a big Jaylen Warren fan, but no, I completely agree with everything you're saying there. Steelers looked horrible. They still won, for God's sake. I mean, I don't know. I'm obviously a Justin Fields fan. I think their offense bounces back this week. And yeah, I like the pick. What'd you say he was 25? That does seem low. Yeah. Well, we shall see. Hopefully Jaylen Warren doesn't steal the show from him. It's coming soon.
that could be a little bad too, because I just found out today he only carried the ball twice last week. So I'm hoping if he gets phased back in, Patterson just gets phased out, and then it's still a 2 backfield that Najee leads. So that if it turns into a 3-man, this could look like a terrible pick, but we'll see.
Yeah. No, and honestly, I don't know the status of Warren. I know he was hurt or he was battling an injury. I don't know if he's back yet fully. But no, that's a good pick. We'll see where we go. So I guess wrapping it up, the last one I've got is loving Malik Neighbors at 26. Washington gave up the most passing yards last year. So obviously the receivers are eating. I think this will be somewhat of a closer game, believe it or not. I mean, the Giants are horrible. I hate Daniel Jones. They're terrible. But who are they throwing to? I mean, they got Neighbors involved last week. I mean, he's too talented. He's not as talented as Marv, but he is very close. And I don't know. I thought 26 was low. I feel like Washington will be leading in the game. I'm hoping so. Hoping Jaden Daniels is running for a touchdown every drive, and the Giants have to throw to him a lot. But yeah, the over under is also at 44. It's kind of in the middle of what on the high side or low side of game totals. But I don't know. 26 seemed a little low to me, and I just think they're going to get the ball to them.
I'm just going to be lame and stay away from talking about anything going on in the Giants-Commanders game because I have no idea what's going to happen in that
Fair enough.
so-called football game. Yeah, Commanders defense, you just saw what Godwin and Evans did to them. So
Nope.
they can give a lot of points, but man, you saw what the Giants offense did against a terrible Minnesota defense. So yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think I have good insight on either side and don't want to stake my flag on either one of these outcomes because I could see both them going terribly wrong.
Fair enough. Oh man. All right. So I guess moving on from those, we'll move into our start sits. This week we do have some disagreements. I know last week we each picked the same people. We went 3-0. Huge week. What we got? The closest one was Zach Moss over Zeke, I think. And he outscored him by a point. So I mean, either way, whoever you're starting, you're really not beating yourself up over it. But the other two, I'm forgetting the other two. One was with Jerome Ford over Jalen Warren, maybe. Yeah, that one was kind of a cheat. Jalen Warren barely played the game. He was injured, so mark that one up. And then what was the other one? I don't have it.
Godwin over Amari Cooper. He outscored him by about 90.
Yeah, too easy. We're on top of it. But yeah, this week we got some different ones, so we'll be able to keep track of that record and see who comes up on top. The first one we got is Zay Flowers versus Keenan Allen. Who are you starting?
All right. And I guess I don't know if you said this or not, but I think the plan is to disagree on all of them going forward. Yeah. So it's not as boring and we have more of like a, not necessarily debate, but you can hear both sides of it or whatever.
Definitely.
But so Keenan Allen against Houston or Zay Flowers against Vegas. I feel like I'm probably against the public here, and I'm going with Keenan Allen against Houston. I'll keep it short because I feel like I'm going to regurgitate a lot of stuff from the DJ Moore take. But I really just think this should be a game where their game script is going to favor the Chicago pass catchers. And Caleb Williams, I'm not worried about yet. He's maybe not generational prospect, but he's one of the best prospects we've seen in recent years. So I'm not super worried about him. He'll get it going eventually and get the ball to his playmakers, one of them being Keenan Allen. And one little nugget about Keenan Allen, too, that I didn't realize is last week he had 11 targets. So it didn't really translate to fantasy production, but he was getting the ball thrown to him quite a bit. So I really like him in a game where they're going to be trailing to get a lot of targets at least. Maybe he's not going to score touchdowns like a DJ Moore or, I don't know, Cole Kmet even. Like maybe he's not a huge touchdown threat these days, but man, he can still rack up receptions like the best of them.
Absolutely. I did not realize he had 11 targets. That's a little concerning to me, not gonna lie. But besides the point, I'm rocking with Zay Flowers for the reason that I think Keenan Allen is still a little banged up. I think he may have aggravated whatever injury he was battling. I don't know. I saw he was still questionable. And Caleb really was not that impressive last week. I mean, he threw for like less than 100 yards. He's still going to be in his second game of the year. So I just think there's a little bit more risk there. I like Zay because I feel like they want to get him involved. And yeah, they're probably going to win this game and they're going to be leading in the second half and running the ball more. But I'm hoping they get him the ball early and often, and kind of rock with them there. So Zay Flowers over Keenan Allen.
Yep, I think you basically already touched on the only downside. The main downside I guess I had on Zay Flowers is that they probably just don't even need to throw to win this game. I mean, the Chargers just basically did that and beat the Raiders pretty handily. So that's the only reason I'm a little afraid is that the game script won't be in his favor, almost guaranteed. But like you said, he could be part of the reason that they're up so big if he gets a couple scores early. So
fair enough. All right. Well, moving on to the next one. We got Javonte Williams and Zamir White. Who do you like?
This one sadly was submitted to you by me from my Dynasty League. My running backs are awful, as you can see. Luckily, I may be saved this week by Jordan Mason getting to play, so this might not actually matter. But this week I have Javonte Williams against Pittsburgh over Zamir White against Baltimore. I think basically, I mean, I don't need to say the same thing about the game script. The game script will work against Zay Flowers, it's also going to work against Zamir White. If they're down, they're not going to run the ball. And Alexander Mattison is clearly their pass catching back of choice. So if they go down, I'm afraid Zamir White is not even going to see the field at all. As for Javonte Williams, Yeah, this is not a great matchup against Pittsburgh necessarily. We know they're a great defense. But the one thing I think he has going for him is that he's going to have some pass catching role, hopefully, in this game. We saw him get, I think, a couple targets in week 1. Unfortunately, he has to share the backfield with Jaleel McLaughlin, so he has the same sort of issue that Zamir White does with having to split a backfield. But I feel like the touches that he's going to get are probably going to be more valuable than what Zamir White sees. And it's not like Zamir White has a good or a bad defense that he's playing against. He's playing against the Ravens, so that's no cakewalk either.
Nope. No, I agree. And honestly, this one was very difficult. I would be very surprised if either one of these guys gets more than 10 fantasy points this week. I went with Zamir White over Javonte. More so fading Javonte. Steelers D is great. I don't see any possible way Javonte's getting a touchdown. I mean, I shouldn't say that. I think it's very unlikely Javonte gets in the end zone. And I like McLaughlin better than him. I think he's the better running back. We'll see. I know Zamir's splitting too, but I'm kind of at the beginning of the season I was high on Zamir White. Obviously he had a pretty shitty game last week, but I'm going him over Javonte. I mean, Zamir, like you said, doesn't have a great matchup either against Baltimore, but I don't know. Neither one of these guys is scoring more than 10 points. So I'm fading Javonte and going with Zamir White.
Perfect. Yeah. In the real life scenario of this start sit, I am just praying that Christian McCaffrey does not play and that Kenneth Walker does play and that I don't have to deal with this nonsense. So
there you go.
One little thing though, I will say my receivers and quarterbacks are good. I swear in this league, the running backs are where we sacrificed everything. So
glad to hear it.
All right, so let's go ahead and wrap it up with our last one here. Another running back one. We have J.K. Dobbins against the Panthers or Jerome Ford against Jacksonville. Who do you like this week?
Yeah, I'm going Jerome Ford over Dobbins. This is Jerome Ford's backfield right now. We saw it last week. They weren't afraid to throw it to him either. I think this game will be closer. The over under is not too high in this game. I think it's kind of going to be on the lower scoring side. Deshaun Watson is horrible. They're going to run the ball. He'll dump it to Ford a few times just because Watson literally can't throw it down the field. If you can't tell, I do not like Watson. But then Dobbins, I mean, yeah, he's got a great matchup. He still split carries last week with who's he splitting with? Gus Edwards? Is that it? Yeah. He actually did split with Edwards, and I don't know. I mean, I love J.K. Dobbins. I hope he finishes as top 5 running back. I hope this is comeback season. Love the guy, but I find it hard to imagine that he kind of repeats what he did last week. And I think Ford's going to get in the end zone at least once this week, and get a lot of touches, and that's all we need. So.
Yeah, I think the main reason probably why I'm fading Ford this week, and I don't even know why I had to ask you, like no one knows that you're favoring Jerome Ford over here. You're probably the biggest non-Browns fanboy of Jerome Ford. But the main reason I think I'm fading him this week is, like you said, that I'm just afraid this game is going to be a mess. I don't know if there's just going to be a lot of fantasy points to come by in this game. But like you said, I mean, maybe both teams lean on the run. You see a lot of ETN, you see a lot of Ford. Keep the ball out of Deshaun Watson's hands is probably the best thing for the Browns to do. So I can see that happening. But I like J.K. Dobbins this week just because of the matchup against Carolina. We saw what 80-year-old Alvin Kamara and Jamal Williams did to this defense. They're literally terrible. So I don't even think Dobbins really needs all that many touches to have a great day. Like you said, he's going to split with Gus Edwards. Sure, it'll probably be about a 50-50 split. I think it's what it was last week. But Dobbins obviously looks like the much better back. I think everyone would agree he's the much better back. So I feel like we could see him maybe carve out a little bit more of a role as the season goes on and he comes back from the Achilles a little more. I don't think it'll necessarily be this week, but I think his efficiency will be enough to get it done against the Panthers.
Fair enough. And yeah, this is a tough one. I love both these guys. Dobbins, obviously the Buckeye, Jerome Ford, the Bearcat. Fun fact, I actually was at Kyle O'Meary's house. We had a fraternity party, and Jerome Ford showed up, was playing blackjack with him in Kyle O'Meary's kitchen. for, I don't know, some other guys were with him for like an hour. I was with him for like 5 minutes, but trust my guy. Go Bearcats. Jerome Ford, baby.
Dude, I honestly always forget he's a Bearcat. Like I
Dude.
know that, but like every time someone brings it up, I'm like, I just forgot he went to UC, man.
Yes, sir, baby. They're all over the place. Taking over the
UC
league. Sauce, come on.
Hey,
Alex Pierce.
I was just about to say, dude, Alec Pierce popped off this week.
Yes,
UC
sir.
legend.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Oh, man.
All right,
Very
well,
good. Very good.
Yeah, I guess that wraps up our start sits. And yeah, hopefully I feel like that went a lot better having differing opinions on all of them. So we'll keep it going in future weeks. I feel like it's a little harder to find them than I thought on ones we
Yeah,
disagreed on, but yeah, we'll keep it going. And maybe we could look closer to the top too, like to see
Sure.
disagree. Well, I guess they're not really start sits at that point. All right. Well,
that's what the hard part was. I was like, okay, yeah, I can argue.
Yeah.
I can argue these top guys, but nobody is benching these guys. Like, it's definitely tough, but yeah, we'll find some good ones, and I look forward to starting the year off 6-0 in my start sits.
It came from my computer as 6-0. Did you say 3-3?
No, 6-0.
Oh, okay. Something's wrong with my computer, I think. Okay, let's go ahead and switch gears then into our trivia question of the day. Colin will be the one answering today. So this one it's not out of our range of years. It is a little further back than your question. So if you need any teams, you can go ahead and ask for them. I don't think there's any shame on that. But our fantasy league started in 2015. So that was the first year that Shovel Mitch League was from. I see you taking a deep breath. Relax. So the question is to name the top 10 PPR fantasy point scorers at wide receiver in 2015.
Wide receiver. Okay. All right. I can do this. Let's go Antonio Brown.
Number 1.
Let's go Julio Jones.
Number 2.
Let's go Devontae Adams.
I think this might have been a little before his time. I think he was drafted in 2014, maybe.
Okay. Would Jordy Nelson qualify?
I'm sure he was close. I only have the top 10 pulled up, but I'm sure he was close.
Okay. All right. 2015 was like Gentleman up there, Julian Edelman.
He's not on here.
All right. Let's think some more. Let's go with TY.
No, that's not a bad guess. He's not on here though. This might be a little early for TY too.
All right. Is Calvin Johnson's probably out of the league by then, right?
I think I want to say he was 11. And actually I know he was in the league because I picked him first overall that year.
All right. I'm trying to think. All I can think of is like Eddie Lacy from who I would have drafted. Is Adam Thielen too young?
Yeah, I think it's too early for him.
All right. What about Diggs? Is Diggs there?
I think it's maybe a little early for him.
God, I'm struggling. All right, 2015. Let's think. DeAndre Hopkins.
Yes, number 4.
There we go.
In that time range of people in their prime around then.
Okay. All right. Michael Thomas.
No, not. I don't think he was.
Wait, he wasn't even in the league then.
Yeah, was he 16 maybe?
Yeah, he wouldn't have been in the league. Yikes, 2015. If my dad ever watches this, he'd probably have them all right now.
Hey, I can start giving you the teams, man. I think that'll clear it up on some of them. 3 is definitely the hardest one, but
are there any that you think I should automatically know right now?
Maybe I'd say 3 of them probably off the bat. I would have expected you to get.
All right. I'm trying to think like QBs, like Drew Brees would have been good.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I feel like around that time you just had freaking Marcus Colston, and that guy was never much of a fantasy receiver.
Yeah, and if Edelman's not there, there's no Patriots receiver. All right, give me a team.
All right, I'll start at number 5 because I think 3 is the weirdest one. I don't think the team will make it very clear. The New York Giants.
New York Giants, Odell.
Yes.
Damn. I should
Number
not
6
know.
was on the Jaguars.
Is there Jags? I was thinking Jags, but I can't remember.
And this player is still active.
He's still active. Jags. Oh, I should definitely know it. Probably torched the Colts twice that season.
Probably did.
Yeah, that's tough. I thought of the Jags. I was like, who am I missing from the
That's
Jags?
fine. Let's come back.
Okay.
All right. Next one's the Cardinals.
Cardinals, fuck Larry.
Yep. Bengals.
Bengals, Ocho Cinco? It's a terrible guess, right?
Yeah. Later.
Oh, AJ Green.
Yeah.
God.
All right. Next one is Dolphins.
Dolphins.
Though you may not think of him for his Dolphins tenure.
Interesting. 2015.
He was definitely his best on the Dolphins, but as someone from Ohio, you might think of him playing somewhere else.
Huh. So what? Was he on the Browns or Bengals?
Yeah.
Who would it have been?
And he was a teammate of someone else on this list in college and the NFL.
He was what?
He was teammates with someone else on this list in both college and on the Browns.
So he's teammates with Odell. Amari Cooper. He
No.
didn't play on the Dolphins. Wait, and that's a terrible guess too. Dude, I don't know.
Oh man, you're yourself. We can come back to that one though.
Okay.
Last one is on the Seahawks. I feel like this was the trickiest one on the list.
Is it
You probably haven't heard this name in a long time.
Okay. Doug Baldwin.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, and then number 3, the one we haven't talked about yet. I'm trying to figure out the best way to describe him because he played for so many teams that he was on the Jets for this season. And this was like, I feel like it was pretty crazy when it happened. No one expected him to score as many points.
White guy?
No.
Not white.
Are you thinking of Eric Decker right now?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
I think they were on the same team this year, though.
God dang.
He's
Black dude on the Jets.
NFL legend, and I think he holds the record for most receptions in a game, if you know who that is.
Michael Thomas didn't play on the Jets.
In a game.
I thought he had the record for season and game. Shoot. Yeah, dude, I'm not gonna lie. I'm brain dead. I don't think I'm gonna get it.
That's all good. You want to try it? Any of the other ones, Jaguars or Dolphins?
Jags, I should definitely know.
I'm trying to think of some better hints, but I just don't think anything I have will work. I guess the Dolphins guy, he wore 14 for the Dolphins and 80 on the Browns.
I'm terrible with numbers.
I forgot you're terrible with jersey numbers. Gosh dang.
Jags, this is probably a horrible guess. Jones? Is his last name Jones? Who am I thinking?
No, I'm trying to.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I'm gonna get it. Give me the Jags one. I'm gonna be pissed.
Allen Robinson.
Oh, wow. Dang. I should have. I actually don't think I would have gotten that.
That one, Doug Baldwin, and the Jets one, who's Brandon Marshall. Those were the ones I was thinking like.
Wow, Brandon Marshall.
And then 9 was Jarvis Landry.
Dang. Oh.
That was the one I was like, you'll be kicking yourself for that one.
Jarvis, I should have got. God, yeah. Allen Robinson and Brandon Marshall probably wouldn't have gotten him. When was Demaryius Thomas in the league? Was he?
He was, yeah. I think he was like 12 or something on this year.
Okay.
I want to say him and Calvin were the first 2 off.
Okay. Man, that was tough. That was fun though.
Yeah, I wanted to see how the 2015 type of question would have gone. I feel like receivers are easier than running backs when you go back that far, but it's still kind of weird just to come up with some of those names on like their old teams.
Right. Yeah, it's like I was able to get the first 3 like off the bat, but then it's like yeah. that's tough. No,
that's all good. I honestly just wanted to ask that question to show what the landscape looked like when our league started. Who was running things back then?
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Man. Larry Fitzgerald. Yeah, I should have gotten Doug Baldwin too. He won me a championship. Him
Oh,
and Dave
really?
Johnson. Yeah, I instantly thought when you asked the question and said 2015, I'm like Eddie Lacy, Dave Johnson, like thought of those guys,
Yeah,
and then Doug Baldwin. Oh well,
Doug Baldwin.
Elgin will remember that.
Beautiful. All right. Well, I think all we have left then to talk about is our best bets of the week. Do you want to recap your picks from last week?
Yeah, went 1-1. We're gonna ignore the Bengals. That was horrible. I'm interested to see how this goes down the road of making the picks early on in the week. I thought it was weird doing so just because like I typically like make my NFL bets like on Saturday or Sunday, morning of. But with that being said, I'll touch more on that later here. But yeah, the Bengals were horrible. Every one of my Bengals fans is like, "What are you doing? They're terrible week one. They can't win a game week one." I'm like, "Yeah, I would have liked to know this early on." But yeah, T didn't play. Jamar was banged up. I don't know. It was a train wreck. So 0-1 there. Josh Allen got the dub. Didn't go over by a ton. But his rushing yards are a moneymaker. We'll start off the year 1-1, down like 0.1 units. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah. I was like, we'll have the units hopefully put up on this episode, and if not, we'll have them on the future ones to show where we're at. And the only thing I wanted to throw in is I saw the Bengals are 1-10 now in weeks
Oh
1
my
and 2
God.
since 2019.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
All right. That's good to know then. Won't be betting on the Bengals this week then. Jesus.
Week 1 and wait. I think I messed up. I didn't put whoever they're playing's money line as my best bet this week.
Yeah.
Mistake.
I think they play the Chiefs. They're gonna get railed.
Oh shoot. Yeah. Maybe that's why, because the Chiefs
Yeah.
are minus 300 against them probably.
Mm-hmm. That's funny.
All right.
All right. So yeah, do you want to recap yours or do you want me to give my best
I
bets?
can just say mine real quick.
Okay.
I guess. So my first one, which I said was a lock, I should have put more than one unit on it, was Buccaneers to cover against the Commanders. That was actually one of the craziest lines I think I've seen. The disrespect to my boy Baker Mayfield. Put some respect on his name. Enough said. Amon-Ra, my boy, did not hit, unfortunately. Lions won, so I'm still happy. 13 yards, did not get it done, though, on that 84.5. So sorry about that one. Also down about 0.1 units or so after going 1-1.
Sad day. He'll get it back, though.
Yup.
All right.
Luckily, we got 4-0 ready to go right here.
There we go. Yeah. Get your sports books out. We got a 4-0 card here. I guess we'll start. So kind of what I was touching on with I think it's interesting and somewhat difficult to make the bets this early on. But with that being said, I think there's opportunities to find a lot of value. I'm kicking myself right now. I was looking at the lines early this morning. I was in a rush and I was like, whatever Cooper Kupp's reception is, I'm taking it and I'm hammering it. I went 1.5 units over 7.5 receptions for Cooper Kupp. And instantly I was like, God, I should put more on this. The line is going to go so much higher. If it stays at 7.5, the odds are going to be like minus 180, or it's going to go to 8.5. I checked right before this episode. FanDuel still doesn't have it. DraftKings over 7.5 is minus 165. I knew the odds would change on that, and I'm upset that I didn't put more. But we got our first 1.5 unit play of the year. Should have been 2. I messed up, but Cooper Kupp, yeah, I think his line. I think he's going to get 10 catches like 15 times this year. So I will most likely be taking that bet a lot this year. Maybe not the best bet, but in the future. So yeah, we're rocking that. Got plus 105 on DraftKings earlier this morning. So.
Well, unfortunate news for me as someone who has not bet on Cooper Kupps over yet. But luckily, I've got those bundle of $25 free bets I got to do something with. So
there we go.
Maybe we'll throw it on that 7.5 still. And even though the payout's not as good, hopefully it still comes through and we get that free money back.
There we go.
All right. Well, do you want me to do my player prop, I guess?
Yep. Sure.
All right. Yeah. So I guess my player prop heading back to the Lions game this week, but actually going with the Buccaneer. I'm picking Mike Evans anytime touchdown at plus 125. On FanDuel, I think I saw he was minus 105, plus 105. So DraftKings, you can get a little bit of an edge there going with the anytime touchdown. Like we already said earlier, we expect a high-scoring game. The over-under, I think he said, is 51.5. So we're expecting to see a lot of touchdowns. Mike Evans is Baker's favorite target, especially his favorite target in the end zone. So expect him to catch one. And the last thing I wrote was Evans touchdown odds being plus in 2024 ? So I feel like that's a good bet there. I know he's not going to score every game, so I understand why it's still a plus, but feels like almost every week this guy's getting in the end zone with Baker Mayfield at the helm.
No, I absolutely love that. I'm checking it right now. Yeah, so we still got plus 125 on DraftKings. I just placed the bet. I'm riding it with you. I love it.
Dang.
But yeah, I mean, we kind of talked about it earlier. They're going to throw it out. This is going to be a high scoring game. It's not going to score the game winning touchdown, of course. Monty's going to punch it in 3 times in the fourth quarter to secure the dub. But love the pick. Love the pick. Okay, so my game prop this week, we are going to go with the Indianapolis Colts -3, baby. I saw a lot of good things last week. I was kind of anticipating them losing to the Texans, just because I don't know, the Texans are good. The Colts can't seem to beat them right now. But I saw what I needed to see. Anthony Richardson missed like 3 wide open touchdowns, 2 to AD Mitchell. And I don't know, the Packers, obviously Jordan Love is questionable right now. Some people are saying he might start this week. I kind of find that hard to believe. I thought he was out for like 4 to 5 weeks. So I don't know what's going on. But Malik Willis is barely played any games. The only full games he's played, he's had like under 125 passing yards. I know this game's in Lambeau. I don't care. Anthony Richardson's coming out firing. Was able to get -3 earlier this morning at -115 odds. So rocking with them. Colts are going to win by 7, maybe more. Anthony Richardson will score 2 touchdowns, and we'll be happy in the street household.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm glad you brought up the Colts actually, because I feel like that goes back to our first episode when I was fading all the Colts players. Like their offense is good. It's going to be weird. Like I didn't want any part of that. Anthony Richardson, he chucks it deep and he runs the ball. Like I just don't see that equating to a lot of fantasy points for everyone else. But hey, we still got a lot of weeks left for Taylor and Pittman to turn it around. Hopefully not for my sake, but I love that pick. I did not realize they were only 3-point favorites against the Packers. Jordan Love is not playing this week.
Yeah, I see. There's no way he's playing. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, I'm hopping on that as soon as we get off this freaking call. So, yeah, my last pick of the week, and I feel like this one I was also shocked, is Rams money line being +102 against the Cardinals. Mm-hmm. I know they're in Arizona. I don't care. I know the Cardinals played a good game against the Bills last week. They showed that they can compete, which I didn't think they'd be a bottom feeder this year. I really thought they'd be competitive. But I thought the Rams looked really good yesterday, or not yesterday, but on Sunday against the Lions. It's week 1, so the offenses aren't going to always be super high flying, but man, this Rams offense can move the ball, I think, even without Puka Nacua in the fold. So I really like the Rams this week. I don't know if I'd pick them if they were necessarily favored by like 1.5, 2.5, and you have to give up that those odds on there. But seeing them as being underdogs, I feel like you have to hammer that because I think they're the better team for sure.
Absolutely. No, I'm with you. I'm also kind of surprised. I mean, Cardinals I do like. I think they're going to be a good team. Obviously, we've talked about Murray, Trey McBride, Marv, even though he sucks. But I don't know. Marv's unhappy. Kyler's probably unhappy. There's a little bad chemistry in the locker room right now. And we saw what Stafford did with Kupp last week. Kyron, who knows? He might come back and be a beast. I don't know, but I'm with you. I'm riding with you. And yeah, to get plus money on that, you got 2 plus money plays this week. I like it.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, baby. Well, yeah, hopefully. I don't see where this card misses, so I feel like we got a 4-0 card, baby. Hopefully, we come back next week recapping with a lot of cash. But unless do you have anything else you want to add for this week?
I think the only thing I need to add is that I think we messed up taking these as straight bets, man. We should have parlayed them.
I think one of your $25 bonus bets needs to go on all 4 of these.
Should we?
I think we should.
All right, I will keep everyone updated next week after this big bet here.
There we go. No, but I guess that ends this week's podcast. Like we said, we'll kind of be doing the same thing each week, kind of recapping the week, giving our start sits, love hates, and obviously best bets. Oh, and then trivia as well. But yeah, we'll keep track of our records, and we'll see you next week when me and Tommy are both 2-0 in the fantasy league.
Yes, sir.